I just got this new wireless microphone, and I can think of no better way to test it out than with a historical fun fact. So we all know who Marvin Gaye is, correct? You know, classic American R&B singer, Motown legend of the 60s and 70s, outspoken civil rights activist, Marvin Gaye. Well, little known fun fact. Before he was hired as a singer by Motown, Marvin Gaye actually made his living selling electronic devices made for inhaling vaporized flavored nicotine. Vapes for the layman. Now, I know what you're thinking. Crabman, you silly goose. Vapes did not exist in the early 1960s. Well, this device was actually an early form of the vape called a nebulized vaporizer modified for tobacco use. They were briefly popular in the Midwest, but unfortunately, cigarette giant Philip Morris bought the patent and put the kibosh on them very early on, so that was that. But anyway, I digress. This was an extremely lucrative job for Marvin, but it was incredibly tough. Marvin Gaye had stiff competition in the vape selling business. Marvin had to pull long, hard hours in order to make his vape selling quotas, and unfortunately, this hustle-at-all-cost attitude took a toll on his recent marriage. He would be out on the road selling his tobacco vapes, often for weeks at a time, and unfortunately, this made his young wife feel very lonesome and neglected, and as a result, she sought comfort in the arms of another man. Well, one day on one of his many business trips, Marvin ran into his biggest vape industry rival, Doug Smcafferty. Now, Doug was always throwing shade Marvin's way, trying to throw him off his game, but it never worked. Marvin's vape numbers trounced Doug's every quarter. However, on this particular trip, Doug tells Marvin that his wife has been stepping out on him. Well, Marvin was about to dismiss this as just another desperate lie, but then Doug told him specific details, such as the man's name and the motel and room number where they would have their dalliances. Embarrassed and infuriated, Marvin immediately abandoned his vape-selling trip, hopped in his car, and sped away. He drove through the night without stopping, blasting through stoplights and crossing state lines. There was neither a mountain high nor a valley low that would keep him from the truth. Finally, with his car running on fumes, Marvin arrives at the motel in question. He finds the room that they're in, kicks down the door, and there he sees his wife in bed with another man in flagrante delicto. Marvin immediately falls to his knees and with tears in his eyes proclaims to his wife, "You could have told me yourself that you loved someone else. Instead, I heard it through the vape grind."